you and I were talking before we actually got online, and I am so interested to share this. So you were saying that patients actually they don't need to stimulate their vagus nerve. So because I know we have a lot of people talking about vagus nerve stimulation.
I think I've seen it all.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this goes back many years. So did the research. It's been almost 10 years ago, or about 10 years ago, I guess. And it just happened. I was a patient, right? And gotten to the point that it looked like the vagus nerve wasn't working. One, I did have runaway inflammation. We could do blood work and see that. But two, my GI tract shut down. My gallbladder stopped working. They said, we want to take it out. And I said, well, is it infected, like an appendix or something? And they said, no. And I said, okay, is it, fibrotic? Is it scarred? Is it brown and shriveled up? Or is the opening blocked? And I said, no, it looks okay under imaging, but the ejection fraction was something like 8%. He said, it's not working. I said, that sounds like the organ itself is okay. I said, if I can figure this out, if it's neurological, is it possible that the organ's just sitting there just waiting for a signal? Tell me when you need me, I'm right here. And it's not getting that signal. And if I could figure that out, maybe I could save that organ. So I ended up testing the receptor of the vagus nerve for both my son and I. I couldn't have a bowel movement. It had been 2 weeks. I couldn't do it. They tried everything with me. I was in the emergency room. I saw a surgeon and everything. And I used the agonist or substitute for the neurotransmitter to see if it would land on the receptor and stimulate a bowel movement. So the agonist for acetylcholine at the site of the vagus nerve, when I was thinking this through, I thought, well, that's easy. That's nicotine. The vagus nerve is the only nicotinic acetylcholinergic nerve in the body. So I took a nicotine patch and I put it over the site of where the valve was, the ileocecal valve that we suspected was closed. And it worked almost immediately. I had a bowel movement about an hour and a half later. I used it again the next day, a bowel movement, next day. But nicotine is very inflammatory, and I couldn't stay with that after about 4 days. But I knew the receptors were working fine. No matter what was getting to the nerve, I hadn't figured that out yet. Involved other patients and did some trials. The receptors always work. So then I worked at, okay, if this is more systemic than just the vagus nerve, is it affecting pupil size, tear production? And both of those were affected. Pupils tended to be bigger, eyes tended to be drier, and cognition and wakefulness was going down. Thought I'd love to figure out an oral supplement that would come together just like nicotine did and land on the receptors, make the nerve work, and have no nicotine to activate inflammation. And that was years in the making. But that's where Parasym Plus came in. And it's received, we're about to go to our 5th patent now on it. And then the chronic dry eyes were resolving. Pupils go smaller within a day or two. Wakefulness improved, etc. So we didn't have to stimulate the nerve. That nerve is autonomic. You shouldn't have to make it work. If it isn't working, there's a reason for that. And you kind of need to know the reason or just use the receptor.